it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I want to welcome you to a magnificent Monday. So excited because I got my girl, Sadiqua Iman, in the building from Langston, Hughes Performing Arts Institute. Also got Jourdan Keith in the building. We're going to be talking about Uterine Files and some of the other amazing events going on at Langston. So I'm so glad y'all are starting your week off with us here on the Day with Trae. Of course, as you know, it is the top of the show, so it's a perfect time for you to participate with us, and you're helping us grow by tagging and sharing this show right here, however you're watching it, sharing it with people who you feel could benefit from a daily dose of dopeness right here on the Day with Trae. If you can't watch us, don't trip. We got you covered. You can listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and the Day with Trae. You'll find me on whichever platform is your favorite. I promise you. There's like 200 of them, and our crew makes sure that we're on all of them. So go ahead and search for us and you'll find us there. Well, I am excited because we get to start the week off right. And of course, it is Memorial Day, so there's lots of different activities going on out there. But we are here with some dope sisters in the building. Up next, we got Sadiqua Iman joining us. She is the program director over at Langston. What's up, Sadiqua?
How you doing, Trae?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful.
It's so good to see you.
You too.
You know, we've been talking about Langston being a Day with Trae partner, and I love that you're like, no, I'm making good on that promise. I'm coming back, letting y'all know what's going down. Tell us about some of the great stuff happening at Langston.
Absolutely. Well, we are still doing Learn at Langston, so we still have our classes. We have a Healing African Drum class happening on Mondays, and that one is absolutely free. We have a senior one at 2:00 p.m., a youth one at 4 p.m., and then an all ages at 6 p.m. So no matter who you are, where you're coming from, bring your people, come. Drums are provided. All you got to do is come and get ready to drum and get some healing. Jourdan, our teacher, is extraordinary. He's fresh from the continent as of like last week, so he is charged and just excited to put this back into the community.
I love this, because, people say, well, where do I find these stuff if I'm trying to get it? And most of the time it is, you got to know. You either have to be connected to the space already, you have to be a patron in some way. So I love that these free classes are open to everyone. Y'all are killing it. What else we got?
Well, we also have a Tune In Tuesdays, and that's our series for just health and wellness. So we had Lindy Hop a few weeks ago, and now we have a beautiful singing bowl meditation yoga class led by Naila Hampton, and it is just so healing. This sister knows how to set a vibe. Like, people, I've walked in there, people have been crying, people have been just laid out, zenned out. So that's happening on every Tuesday. She's having that class, and it's a sliding scale. So if you don't have anything, we still gonna let you come in. We don't turn anybody away. So it's sliding scale, $0 to $20. Pick your adventure, right? And then on Wednesdays, we're finishing up our stand-up comedy class. That thing has had me rolling. Like, it's had a great turnout. We'll probably be doing more of it. They have a showcase coming up, as well as a blackout comedy show that we'll be doing at Langston, just to highlight, we like to laugh. It's so much hard stuff happening all the time. So this comedy class and comedy showcase just gives you a reason to, perfect your jokes that you tell at the barbecues. You know what I'm saying? Going to get a little technique behind it and get ready to hop up on stage. So we're teaching that at Langston too. Same thing, sliding scale. If you don't have anything to give, it's okay. Come on in. And if you do, sliding scale, $0 to $20. Go on and, give a little donation and come learn.
Yeah. This is beautiful. What times are these programs on Tuesdays and Wednesdays?
Both of them are 6 o'clock. So we wanted to make sure people could get off work. If they needed to go grab a little something to eat before they came, we try to think about people, and then come on over 6 to 7:30.
Wow. Well, this is a part of Langston's commitment again. I mean, Ebony talked about we want to keep the doors open like it was when we were growing up.
Exactly.
You know, we used to be able to come to Langston right after school. There was just stuff to do. And so I love that these programs are intentionally, you know, committing to that promise to the community. Like, we are here for y'all, and we're going to keep our doors open, doing things and giving you opportunities to connect. So I love hearing how some of the folks are actually responding to all of these classes. Of course, when you think about all of the things that you find, I mean, y'all are Lindy Hop, come on, like, who would have known?
You know?
But how are you keeping connected to all of these amazing practitioners and teachers, bringing all of this these great programs and classes to Langston?
I mean, honestly, you just have to be out in the community. I find myself, you know, I go to the festivals, I go to shows, I go, you know, when I see interesting things that Black people are doing, I try to go and check it out and see. And, you know, that's how I get a chance to meet people who I would never, you know, I'm working full time, so it's not like I'm just running into people all the time. But if I go to other people's events, you know, support, then I'm like, oh, wow, that was a great instructor. Or, oh, that was a good performance. I need to hit them up, or, you know, all this stuff. And people hit Langston up sometime. Hey, do you know a group that can do this? Or do you know a teacher that can do this? So not that we're a talent agency by any stretch of the imagination, but being out in the community allows me to help my community.
Yeah. And, you know, to be honest, it's about being connected and plugged in. I appreciate that so much. I mean, you know, y'all got things going on throughout the week. Did we miss anything? Did we get them all?
Actually, no, we didn't. We have a new program that we're starting called Space in the Place. And that is, as you're talking about, just opening our doors. Every Thursday, we're just allowing people to come in, whatever you're working on. If you need a rehearsal space, if you need a meeting space, if you're, you know, trying to do some choreography, whatever it is, we're making some free space available on Thursdays. It's on the website, Space is the Place, and you can just sign up for your slot. It's like, I think it's an hour to 3 hours, and come in and use the space to rehearse or work with your group or just meet to be in the space again. So we're trying to bring that energy back in so that people are walking in the doors and working on their own projects, right? And of course, shamelessly, we have the Uterine Files. It opened yesterday. It was amazing. It was amazing. The cast is top notch. I mean, all of them are at the top of their fields. We have poets that are at the top, actresses that are at the top, healers that are at the top. These sisters I came in, there was a whole altar built, like a 3-wall altar built in the green room. I was like, this is why I work with my people, because they know how to take care of themselves and just bring everything to the show. So the Uterine Files opened yesterday. It runs Friday, Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and then Sundays at 2 p.m. So we'll be closing day is next Sunday at 2 p.m., June 2nd.
Wow. Well, this is fantastic. Another amazing opportunity for us to come and experience culture in an intentional way at Langston. Sadiqua, of course, if folks are trying to tap in, if there is somebody out there who's a great instructor, wants to bring their brilliance to Langston, please look right here. Let them know how they tap in.
Absolutely. So if you're looking to tap in with Langston, you can visit us on the website, www.langstonsseattle.org. You can also find us on Instagram at 206 Langston. Same thing on Facebook at 206 Langston. And if you're like, I already know I have something and I'm just ready to bring it to you, info@langstonsseattle.org. And we'll get back to you. Go on and send us a proposal. Let us know what you're thinking. We have a lot of stuff coming up. So we're at this point booking out, you know, about 6 months out. So go on and start thinking ahead of what you want to bring to the table and bring it.
Oh, there we go. Sadiqua, as always, such a pleasure to be with you today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
Y'all, we done started off right with Sadiqua Iman. Up next, we got Jourdan Keith in the building. We're going to be talking all about uterine files. Y'all don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Welcome back. It is the Hot Stove Show. Aaron Goldsmith.
Don't scratch the paint again.
Yeah, gotta get a better ride to work.
Mariners baseball, Trident's up.
Shotgun.
Not a chance.
Disenrollment is a situation whereby people whose birthright to be indigenous is being stolen from them by politicians that have been elected to lead.
Today, the latest or last chapter of the saga concerns the threatened physical ejectment of as many as 21 Nooksack families from their homes.
I think it come about by hatred for our family. That's what it's all about.
Our bloodline is still here. You know, they can't get rid of us.
Ballet's greatest comedy, Coppelia, returns to Pacific Northwest Ballet. Perfect for all ages, Coppelia delights with dazzling dancing and magnificent music played by the PNB Orchestra. Seven performances only. Visit pnb.org for tickets.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Jourdan Keith. What's up?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. You know, every time I can get a creative in the chair, I'm always trying to do it because I need to understand your background, your history. Before we even start talking about Uterine Files, tell us more about your creative journey.
Well, the Uterine Files, and when you talk about my creative journey specific to this project, it's like the genesis of a lot of different, it's a convergence of my experiences. I was born and raised in Philly. And for what that means, the water is different there, let's just call it that. The Philly Schuylkill Punch is what they called it. My father called it growing up. And the reason that's important is because you'll see, if you come to see the play, you'll see how water plays into it. My obsession with water is part of the genesis. My understanding from a mother's friend when I was wrestling with the stories, the narrative that we receive from, you know, the book of Genesis. It's all about water. And a friend of a friend said they were always confused about the Trinity. And the mother didn't want to admit it because she was an old church, beautiful lady, just died. And then she said one day, she said, oh, it's like water. Water exists in 3 states all the time, everywhere, and it is different yet the same. And so all of these mysteries, and then my own experience, very thankful for a Black naturopathic doctor discovering that I had a fibroid tumor, as so many women of African American descent and Latino descent do, and all the narrative that came with that of what I should do. I was like, so a quest, that was part of it. So for me, the creative process is tied into answering questions about my father's early demise, how that connected to water, about my spiritual life, and the narratives that are excluded from this East African religion that was colonized, to decolonize it, to return it to, well, I can't return it, but I can discover, to keep digging and to find answers. Experiencing and reading slave narratives was actually one of the most jarring experiences I've ever had, and also a blessing. I was gifted to go to the Schomburg in New York, and I sat and read many slave narratives, and the difference between what people were saying about their lives and their experiences is not, we focus on the coming. And I'm a student of Sonia Sanchez, who has a poem that says the coming is the coming that was bad, but it wasn't just the coming. Yeah. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so I mean, when you talk about convergence, I mean, it's a lot of lanes coming into one.
Right.
And how does that resonate in terms of the Uterine Files as a project?
The confluence, you know, there's like a headwaters thing, and that's that experience. My mother suffered from a uterine fibroid, right, as many women do. But then also I suffered from the violence of my home, the verbal violence of internalized racism,
and homophobia, xenophobia, and yet at the same time, there's never one side. I also benefited from a father and a mother who were focused on making sure that I learned, that I was educated. My father was a hugger. So it's not just one side of a narrative, you know what I mean? The confluence of this incredible blessing. My grandfather was a writer. And I realized later that I will call it obsession, was the same as his, but I hadn't read his book. His book is called From Bondage They Came. And it starts in Virginia, and it's that old school Cecil B. DeMille, larger than life, couldn't quite get through the book, love him with all my heart, reading. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, well, this is why I think there's always something that's a driving force in terms of creativity that spawns from our personal lived experiences, right? And it really helps to kind of shape out that path in terms of how creativity shows up in any one creative's life, right? And I always think about it as being so uniquely defined to us as like who you are,
right?
Who I am, right? There's so many different things that are kind of tied to like the ways that we've experienced the world. So I really appreciate this. I mean, when you think about putting this project together, having it at Langston, you have some heavy hitters in this amazing play. Tell us more about how the production side of it all came together with all these amazing cast members.
I could not be more stunned and amazed. Yeah. And Sadiqua Iman, who was just here, is, you know, she was like the point of blessing in my life, calling. And so recognizing women and inviting them to just read the text. The first time I heard them read it, shout out to Elishaba at Wanawari, who hosted it. I said, what just happened? Like, to see the people come to life. And the production at Langston, you know, it's beyond the women's performances. And they'll say to me, well, you wrote this, and I'm like, so let's be clear. I understand the difference between the writing and the embodiment. And there were many, I was, you know, duly blessed. The episode 1 came right before episode 2, a different project produced it, right? So I come from understanding accept God, EXCPT, Ghana, and the Giname, which is a tattoo I have over my fibroid. Accept God. Why would you line these two productions up, you know? For who? Because it isn't really about me, right? These are stories an ancestor demanded to have told, but it wasn't for just me to tell. When I see it come through these women, when I see the singing, when I see that it was meant to be Sadiqua, it was meant to be these women, it was meant for this time, and the connection between, I'm an environmentalist, if you didn't catch that, the environmental health, consciousness, justice, right? What is causing this in our community? And also, you know, I'm a geek, so I love X-Files, and so there is a nod to Intozaki and a nod to X-Files, so you already know.
Wow.
That's a little...
There's something for everyone here.
Yeah.
Well, you know, this is something where, you know, next Sunday it wraps. We want to get people there. I got to give you some time and space to tell folks why they need to come. Let them know right there why they need to come and see this.
You need to come to see this, to witness these women's singing movement, understanding, embodiment of our ancestors, of joy in the midst of all of the things that folks have gone through. You need to come and witness what happens when you pass the baton from a piece of paper into the hands of actors and a director and a support and stage crew. It's just, you do. I can't even put, it's beyond what I wrote, and yet they say it's what I wrote, but without them, you wouldn't witness all that story that's meant for us to take care of our lives, to celebrate our lives, and to understand some of the trouble in our lives isn't just trouble that we cause, that we're carrying, and that we can let go of. So the Uterine Files episode 1 and 2 with a sneak preview of 3, it's a trilogy, the Uterine Files Trilogy. And so you'll have to hang on, but please do come to Langston, and you can watch the show today at 2 o'clock or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Next week it closes on Sunday, and I don't know what else to tell you.
That's good. Jourdan, thank you so much.
Thank you
for putting it down for others to be able to embody and embrace so that the audience can experience the work. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Y'all, I'm telling you, we starting our week off with creativity. I'm going to wrap all this creativity up right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Let's start the show.
Looking for laughs? Looking for love? Fast Talking Figaro has got you covered. Toe-tapping melodies, lively staging, and colorful costumes. Don't miss The Barber of Seville, May 4th through 19th at McCaw Hall. Tickets at seattleopera.org.
Here on Back to Vesa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region, and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Vesa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Thank you for joining us at the top of the week here. And I want to give a huge shout out to Sadiqua Iman and Jourdan Keith, both of them being here to give us a glimpse at some of the creativity that we get to experience when we get our tickets right there for the Uterine Files at Langston. Make sure y'all go to Langston's website, get your tickets today. They can direct you to the link. It's on Eventbrite. You can search Uterine Files Seattle, and you can also find it that way. But experience this amazing creativity. You know, one of the things I always say is that it's so important for us to pour into these amazing efforts that happen in our city, because if we don't show up, people don't realize that we want more and more of this. So please do your part, show up, and make sure that these amazing performers feel your energy while they're out there on their on that stage, giving their all. It's on us. All of us have a role to play when it comes to having dope stuff happening in our city. So you play your role. Of course, I'm inspired. I want y'all to be inspired, because whatever's within you, when you bring it out and you get an amazing crew and cast to put it out there on a stage, I'm telling you, there's going to be audience members who experience your brilliance and your greatness. So do your part to be inspired, y'all, and be a part of the solution. Of course, for me, until tomorrow at 11 a.m., y'all, peace.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.